Hello, hello, hello. Yes, you did notice the title of this is called Part-Timers. Part-Timers. What do I mean by part-timers? I mean part-timers with your family, part-timers with your diet, part-timers with your life, part-timers with your job, part-timers with your commitment, part-timers with your education, part-timers with your love life, part-timers with just multiple aspects of your life that could be changed. You know what part-time gets you? The bottom of the barrel. Part-time anything gets you the bottom of the barrel. Part-time job gets you no insurance, gets you no money. It barely keeps you afloat to be able to pay the bills, if you can even pay the bills. Part-timers do exactly that. They do half of the work a full-timer would do with no benefits. Do you understand what I'm saying here? I want you to understand exactly what I'm saying. If you part-time anything, you barely collect anything. I see a lot of part-time keto and carnivore people. One day you're doing a video about how you're carnivore and you're keto, and the next day I see you putting stuff up on Facebook about going out and eating carne asadas and lasagnas and stuff with the family, and then you're making exceptions for Louisiana king cakes that have 45 grams of carbs per serving. Not just one time, but multiple times. And on top of that, we can take that even further and say, a lot of you are part-timers with your family. You'll sit there and try to change your life, and you'll try to put good stuff in your mouth because you're sick, overweight, out of shape, unhealthy, medical conditions, whatever it may be. And you won't do anything about your family's life. You won't do anything about your friend's life. You won't do anything about the stuff your children are eating. But yet, you've reached a point in your life where you want to heal. But you have the nerve and the audacity to turn around and do the same thing to your children that's been done to you for so long. You don't think that there's going to be a different result long term? You don't think by the time they're 25 years old, their hair is going to be gone? You don't think by the time they're 20, 25 years old, she's not going to be able to have a child if she meets a man that she's decided that she wants to have a family with? You don't think that these things are going to happen? Well, if you don't think that these things are going to happen and what you're doing right now to them is not going to affect them, something's wrong with you. What the hell? It's the same thing that's going to happen. You know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So you've done this your whole life and gotten nowhere other than sick, out of shape, health problems, everything else, but you do the same thing to your children. I see a lot of you on Facebook will clean up your act and you're eating broccoli and real butter and steaks and stuff like that, but you're feeding your children in the pictures. I see it in the background. Bowls of cereal and cornflakes sitting on the table and Cheerios and Little Debbie snack cakes and everything else, but you don't want to change their life because you don't want them to feel like they're going without. But they can turn around and thank you when they're 25 years old that they can't have a baby, or that they've lost all their hair, or the fact that they've got some kind of metabolic destruction because mom's decided to feed me junk food for so long, or dad's decided to buy this stuff all the time when we go on our road trips that have constantly given you problems. What are you going to do when they look back to you and say, why did you do this to me, yet you knew this whole entire time this is not that great for me? Oh, because I didn't want you to feel like a restricted child. I didn't want you to feel neglected. Seriously? So they have to live with a hampered life because you're a part-timer. They have to live with a hampered life because you've chosen to feed yourself the good, healthy stuff, but your children have to suffer. Your children still have to eat the Cheerios and stuff every day that have sugar all over it. Your children still have to beg for the little Debbie cakes when you go to the grocery store. You buy it for them anyway, and the soda pops and everything else. And you don't think by the time that they're 20 years old, their teeth are going to be falling out of their mouth? They're going to have eczema and skin conditions, not be able to have children. You don't think that they're going to have a full head of hair. I lost my hair by the time I was 24 and 25 years old. I understand a lot of that can be hereditary, but you can expedite that process. I see a lot of you cleaning up your act, but I see a lot of you not caring about the rest of the people in your family while you clean up your act. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but I'm trying to say, if you care, because that's not caring. When I look at the pictures and stuff on Facebook of my friends and stuff, my family, that they're cleaning up their life and they're trying to get healthy, but yet their children are sitting at the table with soda pops, candy bars, macaronis, and cheeses with Kraft this and that and everything else. I tend to start thinking, how much do you actually care? Care about yourself enough to change your life when it's almost too late, but you put your children in the same position that you were put in growing up. Throw all that medical stuff, all that crap that you think that you know inside your head, throw all that junk out the damn window because you don't know. Because if you're still doing it to them, then you need to go back and reevaluate your whole entire situation about what's going on. Why would you change your life, but you won't change their life? Because you're trying to give them something? And all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy. Oh my God, I'm the bad guy because I'm telling you how to raise your family? No, I'm not. I'm telling you what you're doing to yourself is what you should be doing to them. If you're feeding yourself good, healthy, clean food, then the rest of you should be feeding your children, the rest of your family, good, healthy, clean food. That's almost like saying you're not good enough for what I'm eating. Even though you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to restrict them. But a lot of you are still doing it. A lot of you are part-timers with your journey. You'll feed yourself right, but you won't feed your children right. You'll go in for the job and you'll collect a small paycheck, but you won't get the medical insurance for it because you're a part-timer. So you'll change your life and collect that small paycheck of changing your life, but you won't change your children's life in the process. So you're not getting that medical insurance that I speak of because you're not a full-timer. It makes me sick to my stomach that I see everybody changing in my keto realm, in my carnivore realm. Everybody's changing, right? They want to eat healthier. They want to do all these nice things. But damn it, they won't put the good food on their family's plate. I still see their children and pictures and stuff with candy bars and soda pops and all this other stuff. But they won't change that, but they'll change their life. It makes me sick to my stomach. And then I ask them questions sometimes. It could be, you know, a few weeks down the road after I've had a conversation like this, like I am with you right now. I'll mention something. How many soda pops does your son drink a day? Oh, you know, he's a kid. I don't want to restrict him or anything like that. You know, he's a child. He's okay right now. He's okay right now. But as you keep filling him full of glycogen over and over and over again, and you keep pumping that insulin through him over and over and over again for 15, 20 years straight, by the time he's 20 years old and you want a little grandson or a granddaughter, you can kiss that shit goodbye. Because you've just messed up this boy's hormones and everything else. Now he can't even have a family because you've done years of bad work and you won't take blame for it. When he turns around and says, thanks, Mom. Thanks for doing this to me. Thanks, Dad. Thanks for doing this to me. Thanks for not correcting me and teaching me the right thing. You have yourself to blame, not nobody else. If you are a person right now that still believes in our standard medical practices and our providers, and you don't question your doctor, you don't question the pediatricians, you don't question these people, you need to reevaluate yourself quick. Because you're doing the very thing that you've done your entire life, and you won't change it. You've done nothing to change it other than your life, but been so selfish because you don't want people mad at you and you don't want to restrict them that you won't do it to anybody else in your damn family. And I see this every single day. Every day. I can scroll through pictures on social media and see people doing this, but they call themselves keto and carnivore. You're not keto or carnivore until you actually start realizing exactly what's going on. I'm sorry. When you realize exactly what's going on and you take action to that, I'm not trying to make this into a religion or a cult, but take action to that. If you want to put the good, healthy stuff in your mouth and feed yourself so you don't go to the doctor and you're trying to change your conditions, why not do that to your children to stop them from having to go through the same bullshit that you're going through? It makes no sense, but you'll do it anyway because you don't want them to be restricted. But turn that cereal box over and start researching the chemicals that are on the side of that cereal box. Trisodium phosphate? That's the same stuff in paint products, but they put it in there because it's a stabilizer. It's a shelf longevity, life. It extends the life of the product, but you want to put it in your body. You won't put it in your body, but you'll put it in their body. You won't put those modified grains in your body, but you'll put it in their body because they can handle it. I mean, it makes no sense, but you guys keep doing this stuff. There's a lot of you that are super smart. You run your own channels and stuff like that. You're great people. You're some of the best people I've ever met when it comes to you. But when it comes to your children, no, not the same way. When it comes to the rest of your family, not the same way. I can understand if you have a husband, a brother, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, something like that, and they don't want to change, but you've made an attempt to do it, that's fine. But your children don't have to go through that. You can't change that. There's no option there. You are the boss when it comes to that. But if you want to be the boss and destroy them metabolically because you're the boss, I don't know that I'd feel very good about myself. If you're going to make an impact on the world and you want people to change and you want people to see the truth in what's out there, and standard medical is not where it's at, our doctors and our medical providers is not where it's at, then you need to make a change completely. The whole entire paradigm shift. This is not a part-time job. Make it your life. Make it your life to change your children's life, to give them a long life so they can have a family, so they can thrive when they get older, and quit part-time in it. I've talked to so many people that are involved in different keto communities. They got their own little coaching going on, their online stuff going on, their YouTube channels and stuff going on. They've got this whole world of keto carnivore stuff going on out there. They're super smart. They're some of the brightest people I've met, but they will not have their children eat like them. They'll let their children eat completely junk shit and make an exception for it and talk about it often and try to justify while they're doing it, but they won't change what they eat. How selfish is that? Who cares if they're mad at you? Let them be mad for a little while. They'll get over it. There's a reason why you're the mom and the dad. Do something about it and quit making excuses for it. Change the world one day at a time. If you love them, you'll do it. If you love them, you'll do it. If you don't change the way that they eat and you're still feeding them the junk stuff, I would start questioning whether my intentions are really that sincere with my kids. Because what you're going through right now is exactly what they're going to go through in the future. Can you imagine what happens when your son's 30 years old and he gets married to his first wife, his first true love, and he tries to have a family, and he fights for 5-6 years, and he can't have a child? Come to find out, he goes to the clinic and he finds out he doesn't have any sperm count. His testosterone's way off all over the place. His hormones are destroyed. And it came from a life of eating junk stuff because nobody ever corrected him and showed him the right way. Could you live with yourself? Could you live with the thousands of dollars of in vitro that they'd have to go through over and over again because your daughter, your daughter has been eating the stuff that standard American people have ate for so long, and now she has PCOS, fibromyalgia, fallopian tubes are blocked. She can't produce enough eggs to fertilize certain things because of the way she's been eating for so long. Can you live with yourself? Can you actually live with yourself and show that I cared about you as a child? Because now you're dealing with the stuff you're dealing with today. Wake up, people. Wake up and take care of your families like you would take care of yourself. If you're feeding them cornflakes and Cheerios and stuff like that, then you need to get down there at that table and start eating those cornflakes and Cheerios with them. If you're letting them pick up Debbie cakes and Coca-Colas and stuff all the time, then you need to sit at that table and eat that with them too. As a family. Eat like each other. There ain't no excuse for any of this other stuff. If you could feed your children junk food because they're children, you don't want to restrict them, then you need to sit down at that table with them and eat the same damn food that they eat. If you would not feed it to yourself, then you don't need to feed it to them. That's how it works. Don't be a part-timer. Work this full-time job. Make it a lifelong commitment to make you happy and healthy and your children happy and healthy. You can't do anything about grown folks. They're going to do what they want, but your children do listen to you. Start making a change one life at a time. Thanks, guys. That's my message.